Okay,
That's not right.
can we get to a show real quick?
No, I ain't ready.
Of course you're not. What else is new? You're never ready.
Uh,
For as long as you took, you better look like Halle Berry. Beyonce, then we get married. Boss saying to the beach because my beach is better. Is Jay-Z back on the football train? Can we now all watch football? Now that Jay-Z went to the game? I know he was seeing his client, but
he checking on his bread.
he was
He checking on his money.
Jay-Z was like, listen, man, I'm here. I just want to let you know. I don't know if he must have was like, yo, I'll win a game if you come to the game, Hove. And Jay was like, okay, if that's what it takes, I'll come to the game.
Maynard.
I feel like whole song. What he eat don't make me shit. So if he want to go to the game, that's his business. I'm not. That's cool.
You still not on the football train?
No, no.
But why? Why are you not on the football train? Can we dive into? I know we got a very special show for you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. Special show. But can we talk about football real quick? So you're still protesting the football, the NFL.
Yes.
Okay. Lamont? Is Colin Kaepernick gonna play football again?
Never. If he's smart, he will never touch a football in his life.
Oh wait. If he's smart, he'll never touch a football. Why? Because I'm sure he wants to play. He's training every single day, so he's still training as if he wants to play football.
That's a show. That's a show. Stop. Don't believe that.
What?
He is. You ever heard the terms "somebody's worth more dead than alive"? Colin Kaepernick is worth more to all of these alleged movements, to his financial pocketbook, to his legacy, to everything, if he never plays football again, because then he can play the victim. Oh, the NFL did me wrong. Oh. If he gets a job, then all of those people who want to stand with Kaepernick, now they got to sit down.
Lamont.
I didn't have nothing else to complain
and
about.
You before this whole thing happened, you know the numbers. So was it like Colin Kaepernick was making like $100 million? Lamont, Colin Kaepernick's not gonna make $100 million being the victim.
Spud.
He wasn't making $100 million.
Yeah, but even if he was, certain things are not about the straight dollar amount. See, some people are when you become a martyr, or when you become a poster child, or when they can put you up on Mount Rushmore, that's worth more than the actual dollar amount. $100 million, that's a shortbread. We talking the long bread in terms of legacy and how you can make that go for generations. That's what Homeboy's head is at.
But for the generations, you got to have money to do it.
Let me. His contract was worth $126 million, but only 54 was pretty much guaranteed. Actually, only $13 million was guaranteed, fully guaranteed, and there was up to maybe 54 could be guaranteed each year he signed, right, or each year he made it to camp, right. So you make it to camp just this first day, you may very well get the $39 million or the $13 million for that year if you play, get hurt, or whatever. But, for me, really, this kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back, the whole Kaepernick debate. But I didn't feel like, for the past couple of seasons, maybe even more than a couple, maybe about 5 or 10 seasons, I've been like, football's just not, and the NFL is just not that compelling to me any longer.
Well, Lamont's tweeting out and sending out messages to Martha every single Sunday.
Every Sunday, Lamont's evil.
What do you mean? Martha's. You know what?
You be trolling Martha. You troll Martha Ford. Something awful.
Listen. Well, and first of all, sometimes I'm mad at Martha on game day. But then when you go back and do the research and you say, you know what? Her family bought this team in the 1960s for about $6 million. Right now, the team is the second to the last value team in NFL at $1.7 billion. So if you start out with $6 million and you move that to $1.7 billion, And like I said before, that you could make poor people, take their tax money to help build a new field a few years back. That's balling. So, even though I'm mad at Martha and they losing, but Martha and the family's getting bread that they have had since the 60s in terms of turning over football money. So it's something that works in the black for them.
I don't really give a damn about this.
So let me ask this before we get into it. So, but isn't it?
Whoa, Spud. Why is it that if it's not about the Sixers or the Eagles that he doesn't give a damn?
Oh, yes, a good point. That is a good point.
And why should we give a damn?
Because right before we started, you were like, "Oh, the Sixers signed. Who did they sign?
Jimmy Butler. The Sixers signed Jimmy Butler. Everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, who cares about that? They not going to the championship.
Exactly.
Don't you make no mistake. Jimmy Butler is a game changer.
Listen, the Sixers are never going to the championship, Maynard. I'm sorry.
But you wouldn't know a basketball from a soccer ball anyway.
I do know the playoffs, and I know this. The Sixers ain't been in no playoffs.
We were in the playoffs last season. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God. When was the last time you been to the NBA Finals?
2001.
Finals?
Allen Iverson. Yeah, Allen Iverson.
Okay, and how many years ago was that?
17.
17 years?
Yeah, but we were in the playoffs last season. We were in the playoffs last season. We will definitely be in the playoffs this season. But Joey Embiid, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, and JJ Redick, we probably are the number 2 or 3 team in the East easily.
Well, Spud, here's what's important. I don't really care about that. Can we talk about something else? Can we talk about something else?
Y'all just some haters.
I'm not hating on you at all. I'm not hating on you at all. I appreciate the fact that you like the Sixers. I don't think the Sixers are a good team, but that's just me. Again,
are they going? Let me ask you this, Spud. Just simple math. Were you aware that the Sixers were the number 3 seeded team in the East last season?
I don't care.
So then that means that you just don't know enough about basketball.
No. It's not that I don't know about basketball. I don't care about the Sixers.
Where did LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers finish last season?
In the NBA Finals.
Well, I mean, where did they finish the regular season?
I don't care.
Okay, so then you don't know enough. That's fine.
What does that matter? Can I get back to Colin Kaepernick in this whole
thing? That's
what
I'm saying. Right, because I was trying to let you get over the hypocrisy of Maynard talking about, I don't care. Then all of a sudden you talk about those scrubs of Philadelphia 76ers.
I'm going to tell you one thing right now. First of all, I'm going to let you know, both of you. I'm putting fines on. I'm putting cases on both of y'all. Don't nobody talk bad about that.
Isn't it better for us to be supporting Colin Kaepernick's movement by investing in his "I Know Your Rights" campaign than for us to not be watching football? Isn't that a better look to be supporting Colin Kaepernick than to be spending our Sundays not watching football?
I stopped watching football partly because of the Kaepernick debate, the Kaepernick issue, but I stopped watching football. I'm just not interested in football anymore. I feel like it's just not, it doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Lamont, why are you still watching?
Well, first I watch because I don't think Bader knows enough about football. So that in itself is good to watch. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel like a better man. You know what I'm saying? Because again, Bader does not know enough about football. And then for 2, I mean, I just subscribe to the, some people are worth more dead than alive. And of course, we're not talking the physically dead of Colin Kaepernick, but we're talking about, him becoming a martyr, him being, woe is me. I mean, the reality is that Rosa Parks wouldn't be Rosa Parks if she didn't get up from the backseat of that bus and got arrested.
Did you go to Rosa Parks' house before she died?
Actually, I did not. I did not know Ms. Parks like that. Or anybody
did you know where she lived, Maynard, while you were in Detroit? Did you know where Rosa Parks lived?
Yes.
Okay, was it in a mansion?
No.
Okay, was it in a very nice neighborhood?
No.
Okay, so I'm a little confused on the martyr. I get it on the martyr thing, but
the martyrdom did not have any profit.
It did not pay off for Rosa Parks. So I'm a little confused on why you're saying it's okay for Colin Kaepernick to go down that same road.
So are both of you all telling me that Rosa Parks is not an icon in the civil rights movement?
Sure, she's an icon. That's great.
Stop.
That's great.
Stop.
That's great. That's amazing. You know what what his name is? Don King would say about it was about education. He says, I'd rather say I is a billionaire than I have a PhD. So Rosa Parks is saying, hey man, this martyrdom thing and this civil rights thing is nice. Can somebody help pay some of these bills around here?
Can somebody get a check? Can I sue Outkast?
What happened with Jeffrey Feiger and didn't he have to step in and settle her estate for her and all kinds of stuff?
Did she sue Outkast to get some change?
Well, let me just say this, man.
Wasn't she living low for a minute? I mean, their house got broken into and everything?
There are people who still value spinning rims, and I just had a brain freeze. I was about to say something else.
Clear, you got a brain freeze.
I was like, oh my God, we're on the radio. Let me stop. I mean, let's just be honest, is that there's some people who are very not so smart in how they spend money because they look at things from a short term.
Maynard, is he saying that Rosa Parks did not know how to spend money?
I'm saying Maynard and Spud are having a short-sighted, small-minded view because some people value being, and I think martyr is like a bad word, but becoming an icon. And you can sit there and say, yep, the change wasn't right and it's X, Y, and Z. But, Rosa Parks and in some people's minds and some ultra-rich billionaire is like not the same.
So
and some people just don't on the money tip.
So Wally Triplett is not a icon? You got quiet.
Maybe in a different realm. I want to make sure I said it right.
Jay-Z not an icon?
Absolutely, but JD didn't stand for anything. He used to sell crack.
What the hell is he talking about?
He sold crack, and he married Beyonce.
And what does that have to do with anything?
Exactly. He married Beyonce, sold crack, and he did some nursery rhymes over a beat, right? And he got rich. So what you want me to say?
I want you to say that Colin Kaepernick should be playing football.
Nah, that's a short move, short range play. No.
All right, Let's get into a very special edition of Three Black Guys with the Mic. Today, we are taking your comments, your emails, your responses to the show, and we are responding to them. So the views and opinions of what we are going to respond to are not necessarily the views and opinions of all Three Black Guys with the Mic. Please do not take our responses personally. These are our responses to you and what you have to say to us. So if we say something offensive, blame it on the alcohol.
Blame it on Lamont because that's who was going to say that.
Well, first of all, why do we have to do that? Because last week when y'all was kissing homeboys behind, y'all didn't, especially Maynard. Maynard was kissing. He was puckering up. I'm confused. Why do we give this around? I forgot the brother's name. Good brother, though. Were you talking about Black Jesus?
Oh, okay. So let's get into Vincent Rowland. Shout out to Vincent. He said that once again, you all brought up Jesus in the face. Y'all sure do talk about Jesus a lot and God a lot. To not be brothers who believe. Look at the Bible and see what God sent Jesus to do for man, which was to be a sacrifice for the sins of man. Not everybody believes Jesus to be white and blue eyes. Look where Jesus resided. It was Africa. God is real. Listen to your soul. Maynard, this is what he said to you. Listen to your soul. Ask Maynard, when everything is quiet. Wait. This is what he said. He said, when everything is quiet, but yet you can hear yourself talk clear as day without speaking. That's your soul speaking. The inner you. God is real,
I've been trying to hold this in for the longest time.
Oh, wait, Maynard, stop laughing. Spud, be quiet. Be quiet. Let's see if we can hear Maynard's soul. Shh.
Cheese steaks. Tasty cakes. Ice cream.
What's the safety picks? Would you say safety picks?
No, I said cheesesteaks, tasty cakes. No, that was my soul speaking, y'all.
That's your doctor telling you what not to eat. That's what that is.
My doctor soul came through here. Damn. He sounded a lot like me.
That's
And to your point, Lamont, he said in Ephesians, make sure that you look at the context and Greek word for that scripture. Please contact the names I gave you for the clarity of on those things as such. If y'all really about that life, contact them and discuss it on your podcast. Be real. Y'all bringing Joel Osteen, which clearly shows us that you are getting your info from the wrong clergy. I like Joel Osteen, by the way. The Bible has been around since before it got to America, before it got to Rome. The word of God was established in Africa. That's facts. Read how Africa shaped the Christian mind. Who would like to respond first?
Well, no. Well, man, you want to go? Because it was something I just watched the other day. And this kind of adds a different question that I don't even know if we could answer, but I would love for, what's the brother's name? Spud that wrote in?
Vincent Rowland.
Vincent, I would love for Vincent to explain this part to me. So I was watching this special about North Korea. And they were just, talking about the history of North Korea, what's allowed, what's not allowed. And what I did not know is that religion is not allowed in North Korea. No Jesus, no Buddha, no Allah, none of that. They don't play that game in North Korea. Now, here's my question. Out of all of the people over the hundreds of years that lived in North Korea that have lived under that governmental rule that says no religion, does that mean that Jesus is going to damn them to hell because they didn't confess their sins with their mouth and raise their hand and give the 10% and obey your master and do all the other things that the Bible says? I'm really curious about that because what about, no matter what the political aspect of the country of North Korea, I'm still willing to believe of the hundreds of thousands or millions of people that lived on that land, they all ain't bad. And they all just can't be damned to hell based upon their circumstance of geographically where they live. Just like a lot of other places in this world that don't go by the word of Jesus, of King James. They used to dress funny. You know what I'm saying? But here we're told, yo, dog, if you don't do this, you're going to hell.
Yo, why you got to get on King James and where he dressed? What's wrong with his fashions?
Because what we're not going to do is lie. And all of us as black people who came from the South, whether you came north or went west or east.
Wait. Black folks didn't necessarily come from the South.
No, let me finish. No. When the majority of us got dropped off here in America, we either came to them Carolinas, right? South Carolina was a big port, right? We came through that bottom area, that Mississippi, that Georgia, that that Louisiana port, because everything is where they dropped them ships off. Let's not get that twisted. That's how
North Carolina and Virginia were definitely big ports.
Virginia, I'm sorry, Virginia,
North Carolina as well.
Yes, yeah.
Charleston, South Carolina. I'm saying
all of those ports. We're not going to sit here and lie and act like we were not given a King James version, not the new Amplified, not all the other versions that we got in 2018 and beyond. We had a King James version that was put in every hotel when you wanted to go do the wild thing, even back in the 40s, 50s, 50s. They put a King James version in the hotel room. Maynard, why? If that ain't promo 101, why?
Well,
is that where you got your promo skills from? Is that where you got your promo skills from?
I went to Spud Hotel, but they got a Bible on the page.
But I don't think the Bible was. I don't think the hotel Bibles were King James. Remember, like the Marriott is one of the biggest chains, and the Marriott family, they're Mormons. So
King James version?
No, they want something different. But it's all. I mean, it's all the same. It's all the same.
Saying when I was younger, we was in the Holiday Inn, so Holiday Inn had King James, right?
You know quite possibly. I don't know. I stayed at home.
I'm saying is that the King James version.
You snuck girls in your.
No. I stayed at home and I read poetry.
No. That's that I know you didn't.
So what do we do about the North Koreans? Does Jesus tell them they got to go to hell, or how does that work, Maynard?
I don't know. I mean, apparently, the Bible has such a strict way of doing things that the answer is yes. They're going to go to hell because they don't know Jesus. But then as soon as you ask somebody, they'll probably say, well, that's not their fault. And Jesus understands. And, Jesus has an exception. It's rule number 37 or
No, there's
whatever.
no exception. I mean, in the Christian faith, it is the only way to get to God and to heaven is through Jesus Christ.
So, well,
that was one of the issues I had, especially when I was younger, because I was in, the same mindset as Lamont is, where you're like, wait, but you mean to tell me the people that are Muslim, you mean to tell me the people that are in all these different regions of the world, that these people are going to go to hell because they...
But can we back up to one thing, though? I want you to go back to Vincent's letter. Now, Vincent says about Lamont discussing Ephesians, he says, go back and look at Ephesians through the what kind of lens?
The context.
What context was it?
And Greek word.
The Greek, right? He said Greek, right? And then he said, Christianity or the Bible, was started, where? It says in some continent he mentioned.
He said that, that the Bible has been around before it got to America, before it got to Rome. The word of God was established in Africa. That's fact.
Okay, stop. Here we are. The word of God was established in Africa. But if you want to read Ephesians, you got to go to Greece.
Maynard.
What's up,
Maynard? And what we gonna do on this podcast?
We can move on from that. We can move on from that one now.
No. Because we're gonna talk about these Black Greek letter organizations.
Oh well, hold on. I'm not there for that one yet.
Why?
I ain't there for that one. Not
Which one? Like what? The Kappas and the Qs and stuff?
The Qs, the Alphas, all of those.
What's wrong with those people?
We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get it. I'm not ready for that one yet.
But wait, what's wrong with the Greeks? I don't understand. I mean, just give me a little bit of an overview. What's wrong with the Greeks? What's wrong with the people, the players?
Hold on, y'all got ADD. Can we stay focused on trying to get Vincent?
Can we circle back to that, please?
Lamont, stop dropping your lemonade glass.
Who fell?
That was me. I fell out my chair. I'm back.
So, we have this thing where we got to have this Africa. And if you want to understand, you got to go to the Greek words of the blah, 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 blah. And we know you could go to, any artwork that describes Christianity, that describes Moses, that describes, people from the Old Testament or New Testament. And the artwork is all, let me not say all, by and large, the artwork over the history of the world shows us these white beings, and that's fine. That's great. But Ephesians is in the New Testament, right?
That's correct.
And the New Testament basically was birthed because of the coming of somebody. Who was the person that came? They call him the Messiah. I think it's Jesus Christ, right? And so Ephesians is written where it says 5:6 says what? Something to the effect of slaves.
Oh, here we go again.
Serve your master. Do so with cheer and, et cetera, et cetera. Do so. Why would Jesus say? Jesus wanted to upset everything. Jesus goes into the temple and he says, we're not dealing with these money changers no more.
Yeah,
Jesus,
but what's wrong with that passage?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
What's wrong with that? Don't you go to work cheerfully for your master, for your boss? Don't we all go to?
We're not slaves.
In some aspects, we are.
Well, if you're working for free, that's your business. But what I'm saying to you is, Jesus came to upset everything, right? He said, "I don't like the way y'all doing stuff." He kicking over the money baskets in the temple. That's part of what God. You ain't gonna mess with nobody. Don't mess with their money, right? Don't mess with a man and his money. Don't get in.
My mama says, "Don't mess with my funds or my loved ones." That is my mama's ritual. I mean, philosophy.
So he's out here kicking over the money baskets. He's challenging the orthodoxy of the temple of Jewish faith at that time. And Jesus was a Jew, right? He's challenging everything that is known. He had an opportunity at that point to say, you know what? Y'all out here, y'all treating Mary Magdalene bad. There was a prostitute. I treated her right. Y'all need to figure out how to be more like that. But keep them slaves. That don't even make no sense. He's out here righting all the wrongs.
Well. To be kind of clear.
I'll finish right now. He's out here righting all the wrongs, and then he looks at slavery and he's like, nah, y'all just need to be happy that y'all got a master. So just keep it going. That don't make no sense.
Well, to be kind of clear, I just kind of want to, it wasn't necessarily Christ who wrote that. I mean, it was.
Wait. Here we go.
I mean,
who didn't write what? Because we've been saying the same thing.
It wasn't actually Christ who wrote that. I mean,
who? Right.
It was Paul who wrote the book of Ephesians. But
so what does that mean? So we're going through Paul's interpretation.
Correct.
But Jesus' customer service reps and his regional managers are saying, throughout all my locations, my regional managers, like Maynard said, this is the book and this is the word of what, Maynard?
The word of God.
Word of God going through Peter or Paul or whomever you said it was. So it's the same thing. You can't put in a book and say, nah, thou shalt not kill. We're gonna ride with that one. But we also gonna go with the slave thing too. No, we're not doing that.
All right, let's move on to our second email from Amber.
Hold on. One last thing. Thanks for the love, though, Victor.
Oh yeah, definitely, Vincent. Vincent Rowland. Thank you so very much. We truly appreciate you. Continue to listen to the podcast. Continue to engage and interact on our Facebook page at facebook.com/3blackguyswiththemic. Got an email from Amber Rose. Rose, not Amber Rose. I wish we got an email from Amber Rose. Amber Burns. Hi,
White
guys.
Amber.
Did you call her white?
White. That's her Facebook profile. If you look at her email, it's White Amber 25, I think.
Did you troll her?
No, it's in her email.
Did you go to her Facebook page?
No.
Well, how do you know she's white? But how do you know she's white if you didn't go to her Facebook page?
No, the name is her Facebook profile that's in the email says White Amber.
Yeah, but that don't mean it couldn't be her name could be Amber White.
I didn't say that she was white.
Okay.
I said White Amber.
If you went to her actual page, it's
fine.
Just
go ahead and read Amber Burns. Did you go to her page?
Just admit it.
No, I did not. I'm trying to let you know that her Facebook page thing or profile thing in the email says White Amber. That's all.
Hi, guys. I just recently started listening on Spotify. Woohoo! Thank you so very much, Spotify. You can check us out on Spotify as well. And now I listen daily on my commute. I just wanted to know if you could address the question of why people think it's okay to mistreat fat women. I am a size 22, and the things people who I know and say are crazy. Thanks. If you can, that would be great. I keep listening if you can. Lamont, why do people mistreat fat women?
Well, first we're gonna use a different term because she used the term, right?
She said fat women. FAT, not pretty, hot, and tempting.
Well, I think like a lot of different things is that, we have been, or we are continuously programmed. Like you were, I'll say you still are to a degree. You are a programmer, right, Spud?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that could be considered to be shit? Your job is to program it to the people and say, hey, this is a really good record. So you continuously play it over and over.
Actually,
and
that's
over.
your job. That's your job. Your job
over
is to say, this is a shit song, but I really want you to play
But I need you to play this.
I need you to play it so that way people start to like it. Go ahead.
Right. So I think, when it comes to, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this lately about the way women unfortunately are programmed, from just so many different levels, from all the images they see on TV and print and movies. And this just didn't start. You know what I mean? This is how, even just about size. I don't know why I'm thinking about like Bo Derek. It's like I remember a comedian said that when black women decided to use or get the what do you call them, the cornrows or the beads on the end, it was like a really bad look. But when Bo Derek did it back in the day, it was like exotic and everybody wanted to do it. So it's just it's about programming. I think it's totally wrong. And I got to be careful how I tread and say this. Is that I like a little cushion for the pushing. You feel what I'm saying? I like a little a little rump roast over here. You know what I mean? I don't know what everybody else doing, but you know what I'm saying. So I am not a fella. So
for the pushing.
I'm down with it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, because I get busy. I'm not trying to be. I remember I was with Kelly Roper. I don't know if you know Kelly, right, on TV, right? And she's like literally a size 0. I mean, she's like a toothpick. And it's like, I looked at her and was like, oh my God, this has to be a really bad experience because you're just so little and so thin. And it's just, I look at thin women like that. That's just not my thing. But, I'm just a little different, man. So I think to the young lady who say that people mistreat them also because of their size, I think people are just mean on a lot of other different levels, and they don't like look at the beauty that's that we all have in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So some people are discriminated against because they're too dark, or I heard somebody talk about this the other day. What's the model's name? Is it Winnie something? She has the discoloration in her skin.
That's the Wiz Khalifa girlfriend. The Wiz Khalifa girlfriend.
Yeah. And she talked about in an interview how she was like, "Yo, no, I'm beautiful. Some people might not like the skin discoloration, that I have." But I'm going to wear this. I'm going to be proud of this. You know what I'm saying? So I think, whether you are 22, a 12, or 8, whatever it is you are, you know what I'm saying? Rock with what you got, what you got going on. Because trust me, there's some fellas out here, they want to get with that 22. And from what I understand, some of these 22s is more than these 12s and 10s. You hear me? In terms of the size, because their game is heavy in the 22 realm. So I say just wear what you got, you know what I'm saying? And how you wear it is what's important. And I'm wondering, Maynard, you down with the cushion for the pushing? I mean, have a little extra cushion,
Now, let me say this.
Come on, son. Come on.
That's not
I'm
my
so glad we can't get kicked off of any podcast now. I'm so glad we can't get kicked off anywhere anymore.
That's not my cup of tea. And let me say this, speak directly to Amber. You is size 22, and people are treating you wrong. You deserve, if you are size 22 or size 2 or size 72, you deserve to be treated for the person you are. And if people are treating you poorly, or if you meet men who are treating you poorly and they treat you any kind of way, a couple of things. You don't deserve that. B, you deserve better than that. And C, are you trying to find something in people that treat you poorly? Meaning like there are a lot of times we had, who were the two young ladies we had? We had Joan Lee and Charlotte on, and they talked about women who, they continue to fall into these traps of dealing with men who were abusive.
Right.
They met this one guy, he was abusive. Then they met another guy, he was abusive. Then they started dating a new guy, and he was abusive. In fact, Charlotte said she had been married 3 times and had the first 2 relationships were abusive relationships. And so, Amber, I would say you deserve better. You should not be treated poorly. You should not let people treat you any kind of way. And you should find a person out there that's going to be that. Now, what we've just discovered, albeit that he's off the market, Lamont is open to what it is that you have. So if you like, Lamont's phone number is 313.
Sneak dissing.
That's not my cup of tea, but I'm also not into short women, or I'm not into this or that. Everybody has their own preferences. You definitely deserve to have somebody who loves you and cares for you the way you are. Period. End of story.
Let's talk. No. Wait. We're not gonna let that just blow by. So Maynard, what are you into? You know what I'm saying? You don't like them short. You don't like them tall. You don't like them skinny.
Actually, I do. I do like tall women.
You like them Amazon?
Yeah, like how tall? Like 6'5"?
No, not quite that tall. But bring that on. We could do something with that. We could figure it out.
Maybe like Christmas tree.
No. I'm kind of in the 5'7" and up. But now 5'7" isn't necessarily extremely tall, obviously, but 5'7" to 6 foot, 6'1" maybe.
Right, so now that's without heels. So when she put heels on, she's like a 6'3".
You like
She
him
put
like
a red
your
bottom
mom.
on.
You like him like Naomi Campbell.
Okay, yeah.
But Maynard, you're not tall at all, so that means you're looking up to the lady. Like when you walk in, it's like
we say we all the same height when we lay down.
yeah, but you're standing up most of the time.
He
Maynard.
said
You're not,
we the same height when we lay down. Not all. That's not accurate though.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
That's not accurate.
That's a lie. That's another one of them lies that keep telling us. Come on now.
Well, I don't know who keeps telling you.
Maynard
told that lie. I don't know anybody else who's telling that lie.
I like tall women. That's what I like. You know, it is what it is.
Amber, I would say, look, beauty is within, and it's really unfortunate that we have gotten to a world, a society that media and people have taught us that, the way you look is bad based off of how much you weigh, your skin color, your, I don't know, hair, your eyes, your whatever. There's so many different things. And, you got to find beauty within. And I'm sure that you have a plenty of, internal things that make you beautiful. And you know what? That's all that matters at the end of the day. Ignore everybody else and keep it moving, man. It's unfortunate that people mistreat, people who are overweight. And that's unfortunate. When I watch The Breakfast Club and, Charlamagne the God is unapologetic about calling people fat. And he doesn't do it in a direct way. He does it in a reverse psychology way. But that really still is unfortunate because it makes people feel uncomfortable and it makes people feel, like they're not wanted and they're not good. And you are. And you just got to just look in the mirror and smile, bitch.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa, wait a minute. Maynard, what was that disclaimer earlier? All the views expressed are not, on each individual.
I'm just singing a little Duval song.
Okay, let's just get it right. Okay.
Live your best life is what you got to do. You got to live your best life is what you got to do. Man. Smile.
Yeah, there you go. Let's do the radio edit.
Right. Yo, speaking of The Breakfast Club, etc., our attorney, Kwaku, hit us up and was like, yo, y'all and The Breakfast Club are the only two podcasts I listen to. And I know that Kwaku thinks that we're funny as all get out, but he wants to know, Lamont, why do you have such a preference for Black Jesus?
Again, I said it before. And again, it's like we keep going back to Jesus. We want to make this the Jesus podcast, is that I use a very common sense factor when we talk about the stories that we are told about Jesus. And I like to say the stories because I think the Bible is a book of stories, which in my opinion, that's what it is. Some people take those stories very seriously. A lot of people have questions about those stories. And some people just don't believe those stories. Just like my niece, I'll never forget, as we talked about Greek, I was asking her, she's 16 years old, and she was telling me about all of the classes that she was taking. And I said, she told me about a Greek mythology class. And I said to myself, Greek mythology? I asked her, I said, do you know what mythology or what a myth is? And she said, it's a story. I said, yes. It's actually a story that's untrue. It's a lie. It's a myth. We can take that in another direction, but I'm still curious about how and why kids are taught the Greek again. Like we said, the brother, he spoke earlier about, we got to go through the Greek translation about this book of stories that were created in Africa. There's just so many questions, man. That's all I'm saying. And I think, why I'm really enamored about Black Jesus is how, the story of Jesus has been used for hundreds of years to control Black people and other nationalities. I just think it's amazing. It's one of the biggest things that, has went through generations of controlling, of making people, fall in line and do certain things. And a lot of people that made money off of Jesus. That's it.
There you
Well,
go, Kwaku. Kwaku Asage. There you go.
Randy Smith writes to Lamont and says, why is it that, well, she kind of agrees with Lamont, and this goes back to, he just sent this in, and this goes back to our domestic violence podcast, where he says, why is it that we continue to speak about domestic violence, and it's always as if men are only abusive? I have seen many women abuse. I've seen many women abuse men physically and mentally. Why don't we talk about women being abusive? Lamont?
You mean men being abused?
Abused. I'm sorry, being abused.
Well, again, and I don't want to play the who gets it worse, the black man or the black woman, but being a black man, coming to this continent has been really, 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 really hard, man. And I get that black women have had a tough time as well, and where we were taken out of the story, so to speak, and they had to step up and do X, Y, and Z. But I think black women over the past, and this is really gonna get me in trouble, in the past 30 to 40 to 50 years, there's some in the Bible that talks about how, that there's power in the tongue, and that this part of the Bible I do like, you know what I'm saying?
Did he just contradict everything that we've been talking about for the last 40 minutes?
No. It's a story.
Oh, okay.
It's a story.
So I don't like anything else about the Bible, but this part right here, I like. So I believe in this part of the Bible, but everything else I don't believe in.
No. That's what I'm saying about their contradictions and their questions to be asked about the Bible. Because when the Bible talks about
contradictions, there is no contradictions in the Bible.
I'm just gonna give you this one. I'm just gonna give you one right here. Watch this, Spud.
What's a contradiction?
So if you listen, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
In the King James Version, in Proverbs chapter 18:21, it says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof." AKA, if you talk death gonna come at you. If you talk life gonna come at you. So, with my people and your people, Spud, who were in chains in this country, if this is to be true, that whatever you say and you speak, that's what will come to you. My people was always singing, "Swing loud, sweet chariot, come forth to carry me home." Nah, nigga, that didn't happen. Them niggas died in chains, bruh.
I don't understand the point. I have no idea what the point is.
Let's just.
I have no idea what the point is.
No.
Yeah, what the mind's talking about.
What are you talking about? You have absolutely no point at this point now.
You scared. Both of you all are scaring me because man is supposed to have a master's degree, and Spud, you're pretty smart. If the Bible says that and you both can read, death and life are in the power of the tongue. You understand?
What does that have to do with slavery, though? So you are basically saying. So this is what I hear you saying. Wait, man. This is what I hear you saying.
We're not talking about slavery. We're talking about abuse.
I understand.
Y'all so far away from where we were.
Are talking about abuse. I thought we were talking about domestic violence. That's what we were talking about.
Just stop where you are, and let's make a U-turn and get back to discussing domestic violence. Because Randy is sitting there saying, wait a minute.
Randy said, why is it that we continue to speak about domestic violence and it's always as if men are only abusive? I have seen many women abuse men physically and mentally. Lamont, can we? Oh,
no,
I'm sorry.
no,
yes,
don't
Maynard.
go back to Lamont.
Go
back to Lamont.
Give it to Maynard. I'm done. Give it to Maynard. He got it.
Thank you.
So, listen, I mean, I think historically, the cases of abuse are most often men abusing women. That doesn't mean that that's the only way it happens, and that certainly is true. That's not the only way it happens. I think a lot of things are going down where a lot of men don't want to report being abused by a woman. That could be an issue because there's a lot of embarrassment involved with that. And we often look to the woman as the weaker sex. That's historic. That's not something that we made up in 1980 or 2018. That's been the history of mankind. So it was the month of October when we did that show, which was Domestic Violence Month, and we went to someone that we knew was available to speak on that topic with, some kind of,
Experience.
experience. I would be interested in the man that is out there that wants to come forward and discuss the fact that he had been abused physically or emotionally by his, or verbally or what have you.
I thought
by
you
a
said you
woman.
were going to come up, and I thought you would say that you were going to make your confession.
I'm sorry, who?
I thought you said you were going to make your confession that you were being. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was Lamont. Lamont said he was going to make his confession about how he was being abused.
Lamont?
Yes.
Would you like to talk about
This is
how
a-
you were being abused?
Hold on,
You mean
Spud, set it
verbally?
up. Hold on, set it up
Yes,
first.
verbally.
Spud.
Yes,
set it
you
up.
said that you
This-
have
hold
been
on,
abused
Spud.
verbally.
Hey, Lamont. First of all, let me just let you know this is a safe place. Okay, I don't want you to be. I don't want you to. I want you to feel comfortable and feel free to share about the abuse. Little punk bitch.
Well, I just feel like no. I mean, if y'all want to talk about it, I just feel like, the pastor of Second Ebenezer Baptist Church, he
Why
verbally
you bringing him out? Why you bringing him out?
Oh,
Listen,
we're gonna
man.
keep going back
Bishop
to that.
Fan is I like that's my guy, man. That's my
No,
guy.
not in Detroit. No, not in Detroit. This is in Alabama.
Okay. All right.
This is in Alabama.
We got any more mail?
Yes, we do. From Shay Hana. Shay Hana did not like she said, I am not amused at all by this post. Now, I posted something that Tariq Nasheed posted on his Instagram page about Roland Martin. And so Tariq Nasheed is a big advocate of not voting. And I think that he comes from the philosophy of Dr. Claude Anderson, where Dr. Claude Anderson, who wrote Black Labor, White Wealth, in Powernomics, who's basically said that black people should not be voting because it's not any benefit to African Americans. And so Tariq Nasheed has been very vocal about the fact that that black folks should not be voting because we don't get anything out of it. And so, Roland Martin basically went on his Unfiltered and said and called out Tariq Nasheed and Whitlock. What's his name? What's the ESPN? Jason Whitlock. And basically said that if you are black and you did not vote and you sat your ass at home, that you should be ashamed of yourself. And so he did this post where he was basically saying that black people are at the hands of white people when it comes to voting. And so Shay says, I'm not amused at this post. So, okay, listen, I agree with Tariq Nasheed, but I'm a voter, and I think that we should vote. I don't think, and Maynard, you're the, political guy on the show, I don't see, and nor have I seen the benefit directly to black folks. But do I think that black people need to vote? Absolutely. Do I think that what Tariq was saying is wrong? No. Do I think that the way that he called out Roland Martin was wrong? Yeah, but it was funny. And I think it was hilarious. And that's my comment. Maynard?
Well, we said this a couple of days back. Voting has gotten us a lot further than the Bible, but that's a whole other thing.
That is a whole other thing. Thank you. Thank you.
But that we know this much, that voting has gotten us gains in several places. By voting for the right candidates, we've been able to get things addressed. And so it's not just voting, it's voting in the legal system and being diligent. Right. There was Brown versus Board of Education that led to us being able to say separate but equal cannot stand.
Right.
And that was important. And, we had governors and sheriffs and mayors who would not enforce the orders until we voted those people out. And then all of a sudden, black children could go to school with white children and go to better schools. We know that that's an issue. Oh, why do you want to go to school with these white kids? Well, there was a time when all they had to do was just write the word school on a shed and say, here, this is separate. You black people can have this, but it was nowhere near equal. So, we voted to get mayors and school boards and senators and congresspeople and council persons. And those are important things. And so I disagree with Tariq Nasheed. Also, we know that voting also leads to other kinds of remedies that we can depend on, like being on jury lists, so that we can say we need to have our voice heard when these cases come up where there are, individuals who are accused of something, or police officers, for instance, who have shot someone and get off without, facing trial or what have you. Who do you think is trying the cases? Typically, they're going to be state attorneys. How do they get to office? They were elected. So if you think that there's a state attorney that's a better state attorney than another one, and you want that person to be the DA, you have to vote for him. And then maybe we wouldn't have a need necessarily for Black Lives Matter as much, because now we're prosecuting people who do these things where they harm people. So, there's a lot in it. It's not as simple as, well, the president didn't pass a law that I like.
Lamont?
I'm going to take a page out of Maynard's book. All right, we got some more mail?
No, this is cause for you to respond.
Nah, I ain't got no response. I'm going to do what Maynard does. You got some more mail?
Yes.
Okay.
Phyllis, I have been listening to your podcast for quite a while. Even though I don't always agree with everyone, I really enjoy the laughter and friendship you share with each other. However, I just listened to episode 89 and was absolutely shocked to hear you say that you don't care about the 20 babies that were killed in Sandy Hook, comparing it to what happens in Chicago, and saying people don't care because they are black is just wrong. And for your information, the poor innocent children were not all white. I can't listen to you or that kind of ugliness anymore. Who would like to go first? She's already said she's not going to listen to us anymore, so I don't know if it necessarily matters.
Well, that was Phyllis Allen, right?
Yes.
Okay, Phyllis, I know you're still listening, baby. That's all good. Listen, I think you have to get the greater context. It's a horrible shame that anybody would ever get a phone call that says to them their daughter, their son, their child is not coming home, when all they did, the only crime they committed was going away to school that day. And we certainly recognize that that was a tragedy in Sandy Hook, or that was a tragedy in the synagogue the other day where 11 people were shot, or whatever the number was. I'm sorry. It was a tragedy when the 50 people or so were shot in Las Vegas. These are tragedies, and we recognize that. And somewhere I said that, there were 22 children, 28 people who were dead back in the late 70s, early 80s in the Atlanta child murders. But they didn't pass any laws as a result. All of a sudden, because of Amber and her case, we have Amber alerts on our phones. They name a law behind that. When something happens to a white child, they name a law for it. Megan's Law, the Adam Walsh Law or Act, Amber Alerts. Things change when things happen to white people. When it happens to black people, it just does. The level of concern is not the same, and that's really what the point we were trying to make.
That was very conservative of you.
Because we discussed it once, and I just want Phyllis to come on back.
Come on back home, Phyllis.
Come back.
Come on back to the crib, baby.
Oh.
Come back, Phyllis.
We made it to the end of the road, Phyllis.
No. You went too far. You went too far. Lamont, you gonna respond to Phyllis?
I mean, Phyllis, we don't condone any abuse, murder, just whatever the babies. We don't care what color they are. We don't do that over here. But what Maynard said is uber valid is that, as we're doing this show, and last night and probably the night before last, there were some young black and brown babies that they don't get the coverage. You know what I'm saying? And I think, if we said anything on this podcast, is that those babies are just as important than those babies up in Sandy Hook. You know what I'm saying? With the very wealthy parents and the very wealthy environment, all children are important. So,
But
that's
you
all
know,
I got.
and Lamont, to add to what you're saying is, we understand this. That, for instance, Dr. Ford, the woman who basically had claims against Justice Kavanaugh, she was given a full hearing under the Me Too movement. We know who Dr. Ford is today. Name the black woman who actually started the Me Too movement. Oh, exactly. So we have to know and recognize that a lot of this is race. It's about race. Nobody is going to come to the aid of a black woman and make her the center of anything when there's a perfectly good white victim that they would prefer to promote. And that's just how it goes that way.
It's all about race?
Yeah, it definitely goes that way, man. I don't, the other day, I mean, it's just a small talk. The other day, a friend of mine was saying, Dak Prescott, quarterback for the Cowboys, he got to go. He got to go. Why he got to go? And, he's not living up to the hype. You know how long we've been waiting for Phillip Rivers to live up to the hype? And he keep a job? So that's race. Jason Garrett been with the Cowboys, ain't won a game. He keeps a job. Let a black quarterback do that. I mean, a black coach have a team and not win. That's race too. I mean, it is what it is. Lamont, don't you want to talk about ICE?
You know what?
That was
I don't
a setup.
I don't really feel the love and respect on this podcast, so I don't really know if I have to say it again. I mean, because these are things that I've said over and over and over again, and just people just not getting it. I mean, and this just didn't start.
Lamont, I threw you an alley-oop, my dude. I'm doing my point guard opportunity to let you go ahead and slam it down.
Come on, man. I mean, and it's funny you said it about the lady with the Me Too movement, because, and again, this is no disrespect. I knew this lady because I was like, who's the lady with the bad skin? Like, I didn't know that she was actually the author of this thing. So,
Lamont, I really wish. Can you practice more compassion?
what do you mean? I have bad skin. What are you talking about?
No. Every single week, you have something negative to say about somebody black.
Oh, so I can't talk about Jaden Smith. What you saying? Oh, I can't talk about Jaden Smith, Will, and Jada's son?
You can go ahead and talk about him.
I mean, did you read the headline, Maynard?
No, tell me.
What's the headline on Jaden?
I'm all
What
ears.
was the thing?
God, where are you two guys at? Jaden Smith claims that Tyler, the Creator, is his boyfriend.
No, get out of here.
That he's gay.
No,
Yes.
no. Tyler, the Creator, and Jaden Smith are not. That's not true. I can't believe that.
No, he's on tape. I mean, he's on stage. He was at a festival.
Yeah, he just does that to make you come on this podcast and tell people that he is living an alternative lifestyle.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
He did that to make us come on the podcast.
He did that
Jaden
for Lamont.
Smith.
Lamont did
Jaden
that.
Smith is programming his life exclusively for three black guys in the
for
Lamont.
For Lamont to come on the podcast.
Yeah. Jaden Smith said that he Lamont's correct. He said he entitled
Because
the
didn't he
Creator.
say that he was not like he had no gender or something like that? And that's the reason why he was wearing like the dress and didn't he do like a Louis Vuitton ad or something?
Oh man, look. Things are just getting too crazy, my dude. It's just too crazy.
I mean, this is the world we live in, Maynard. You have to protect your daughter from the world that we live in. We
Too
live
much.
in a world where people are living freely from an emotional space without
Is
any.
Jaden not going to be able to go to heaven?
I can't say where he's going to go. That's between him and whoever he believes his higher power is.
But there's only one God, though, right?
I mean, he could believe in that one God. He could
I
believe in
mean-
that higher power.
What do you believe? There's only one God?
I believe that there is only one God. I don't think that there are multiple gods. No.
And you think that that one God says that homosexuals will be cursed and go to hell?
I do not believe that.
Mm.
I don't believe that God is going to punish anybody for what they authentically believe within themselves. Like, it is very difficult for me to swallow that Andy Cohen, and I know this is a very random, analogy, that Andy Cohen is going to go to hell because of where he believes, or because of Laverne Cox, that because she believes that she authentically is a woman, that she's going to be damned to hell, that the people who don't go to church every single Sunday are not going to go to church because, I mean, like, you think Oprah Winfrey's going to go to hell? You think Magic Johnson?
Why would Oprah go to hell?
I mean, Oprah Winfrey's not, locked up in no church every single Sunday, right? I mean, I cannot
Oprah Winfrey,
see.
she don't have a church on her premises. She don't have her own church.
She
right
might.
there.
I mean, she might. But, I mean, I believe that the way you worship, whatever you want to call it, rather that be God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, whatever, if that's what you believe your spiritual gateway is to the next life, I'm all for it. So if Jaden Smith believes that he's homosexual and Tyler the Creator is his boyfriend and they live happily ever after, hey man, God bless them. They got to answer to whoever they got to answer to when the day of judgment comes, if there's a day of judgment. I got my own judgment to figure out. I can't focus on that.
Lamont, that sounds like exception rule number 36.
I mean, and again, maybe God designed this on purpose for it to be not easy to figure out. I don't know. But what I do know is that all we can do is just, try to live by what we think is right. Just be nice to people. Be kind to people. Help people if you can. Drink some vodka, eat some fried chicken, and just try to live
Drink
alone.
some vodka? Seriously, drink some vodka. And eat
I'm
fried
saying.
chicken. Now, you just told Maynard to not eat no damn cheesesteak because it's going to close up his artery. And now you talk about eating fried chicken, my dude.
I don't really care what Maynard eats. Maynard can eat.
Yeah, but you can't tell him not to eat cheesesteak and then tell everybody else it's okay for you to eat fried chicken. That's the equivalent of cheesesteak, dude.
I said me. This is an individual thing.
Now it's an individual thing.
You got some chicken over there, Lamont.
Right.
But I'm really fiending for some fried chicken. That's the
I
problem.
know, that KFC,
Yo,
buddy.
so y'all up on the fact that Kirsten Sinema has been declared a winner out of Arizona over Martha McSally. So that, that's another seat to the Dems.
Woohoo!
That's a pickup.
Go Dems! Go Andrew Gillum! Woohoo!
That recount is underway down there in
Go
Florida.
Stacey Abrams! I love you, Stacey Abrams, but I don't see it, baby. I don't see it.
But can I ask a question? How do they not?
I thought we said we were going to keep this podcast to 1 hour. You're over 4 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Did you send that account? I mean, nobody.
I'm just BSing. Come on, man. Go ahead with your comment.
How do they not have electrical outlets or whatever, or electric strips for the voting machines? How did that happen?
I think answer the question, man. Answer why that is.
I don't know, man. They trying to kill us?
They don't want us to vote. I mean,
I think both answers are acceptable.
Let's go.
Both answers are acceptable.
Both answers are acceptable. Let's go back to the Tariq Nasheed thing real quick. I like Tariq Nasheed. I appreciate what he's done with Hidden Colors and so forth and so on. I'm a little on the fence about what Tariq Nasheed's got going on. One side he's this way, and then the other side he's the other way, but that's a whole other story. But listen, voting is important. You got to exercise your right to vote. I understand that it may not directly benefit African Americans, but no matter what, in my opinion, you got to go out there and exercise your right to vote. To what Maynard is saying, and I mean, is it in, like, they're literally, the president said, oh, we don't need a recount of the votes. Maynard, why do you think that the president said we don't need a recount of the votes?
He don't want the truth to come out.
Because he don't want the damn truth to come out.
He can't handle the truth.
If in Alabama they are suppressing the vote so much that if you put a comma or you put an initial that your vote is not counted, that means that the vote is important to them. More of the reason why you definitely need to be out there voting.
Must be something about that voting thing.
It must be something about that voting thing.
Must be. Lamont, what you think?
I'm going to take another page out of your book. You got another question? I mean, because we just keep beating this dead horse. We know that. I mean, why are we discussing it? I'm just confused.
Well, I think
this is not important
because it is important. It is important because, unfortunately...
Wait.
No,
why is it that when it's not important to Maynard, it's okay?
No. Listen, it is important because everyone needs to understand that these are the things, and Maynard, help me out, these are the things that keep uneducated people, Lamont, from actually going out to the polls the next time. This is what says, oh, my vote doesn't count. So what's the purpose of me going and voting? It doesn't matter. They're not going to count my vote anyway. Or...
Well, we've said this already. We've said it many times every week.
Yeah, we got to beat it in their head, Lamont.
You told us that Black lives don't matter.
Yeah, but we got to beat it.
Why are we going through this week by week?
Because we got to keep putting it in their head, the importance of why we got to keep fighting.
Well, the only reason why it got important, Lamont, and I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean to steal your thunder. I know you want to talk about having a pushing for the cushion, but it's just that this just happened tonight.
There's too much booty in the pants. There's too much booty in the pants.
We had, this just happened tonight, and cinema pulls ahead. So I just wanted to bring that up. I'm so sorry. Now back to your regularly scheduled pushing in the cushion. Or cushion in the pushing.
Okay. All right. You want to get to one more or we want to leave?
No, let's go ahead and do one more.
All right. We got one more. Pauletta Rose goes back to our Bill Cosby podcast.
Oh, no. Let's not do this one. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Paulette says, where we had the conversation about should Bill Cosby go to jail? She says no. Why wait so long to come forward with your accusations? He has no use in prison now, unless you are sending him to an early grave. He has made a lot of people happy with his shows. I am one of them. Find some other way to solve the problem. Maynard, Bill Cosby shouldn't be in jail? You agree with Paulette or no?
There's some things that she said that has some logic here. I mean,
I should have started with Lamont because I forgot that Bill Cosby used to come to your track meets and used to hang out with Bill Cosby and kick it, and so you're biased about Bill Cosby. So
I am.
So should I go, Lamont? Let me go to you first.
Well, I don't think Bill should be in jail because if I remember reading correctly, although he was accused by several different women, the number was whatever the number was, but what he was convicted on was based upon someone that he had already paid, someone who had, once they got their check,
agreed to a settlement, right?
Agreed to a settlement. Like, okay, this is done. and the district attorney went against the wishes of this particular individual in the beginning and pursued the case. So it just felt like it was like a railroad job. You know what I'm saying? It felt like, we had to hurry up and get this done because I think the statute of limitations was really close. I mean, it just didn't feel right. So no, he shouldn't be in jail. And he didn't come to any of my games. And I didn't really even like Fat Albert like that. So, and he wasn't that funny to me. So I mean, he was.
Why
cool.
you trying? Why you taking shots at Bill's talents?
No.
Nah, man. I'm just saying, man.
He wasn't. He was funny. I mean, he did different
all I'm
world.
saying is,
You know what I'm saying? He wrote
Lamont,
some checks, and I'm cool with that.
Lamont, earlier in the show, you had something a little slick to say about the Sixers. Now you coming at Bill Cosby. You came after cheesesteaks. In the street, when you see me, just be on the other side of the street. That's all I'm saying.
But you know what you sound
I'm
like?
telling you now, cross the street.
Trump. You sound like Donald Trump because I have an opinion that's different than yours that I'm wrong. Respect my opinion.
Come out shooting on my mans and them.
Because he's whack as a comedian.
Whoa. Oh, it's on now.
Okay. All right. I'm ready. Tonight's the night.
Tonight's the night. Yo, you know what? But you got to leave the tool at home. I see you pull one out to the flower pot earlier.
Can I ask one stupid question before we go? Why was April Ryan on The Real today?
That's Maine's girl. My head is hurting. Go ahead.
It wasn't a good look. I mean, I like you, April Ryan, but not The Real.
What did you say, Spud? What happened?
I don't know. She just was on The Real, and I was looking like, why are you on The Real? Why are you not at AURN right now? Why are you not in the White House press room right now? Why are you not on CNN right now?
You know why?
Why are you on The Real with Lonnie Love, who I love? wait. No, don't do that, Lamont. Lonnie Love is from Detroit, so I got love for Lonnie Love. But why are you on the Real with Lonnie Love and Adrian? Well, I don't know her last name. That's not what you do, April Ryan. You're not
so what time did it come on?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. What station?
It was on Fox.
Yep. Lamont, do you watch The Real at 1 o'clock on Fox?
Well, listen, wait, because I see where you're trying to go. First of all,
man, car revokement.
No. Listen, you gotta take a break from this Donald Trump train. Donald Trump called her a loser and nasty, and that was on the CNN, and the MSNBC news cycle all day. So I was like, you know what? Let me take a break from this. Let me get some unnecessary stuff. So I watched a little Wendy Williams, and they come on right after, and she was on. So
wait a minute, The Real? You watched Wendy and then followed that up with The Real.
It was just on. So, anyways, we out, ladies.
Flag on the play.
Can we give a shout out to Geneva? Is this your girl's name, Lamont? Geneva Noel? That's a New Jersey girl?
Yeah, I was like, huh? Yes.
Genevieve? Is it Genevieve?
Yeah, Genevieve.
Genevieve Noel. Shout out to Genevieve Noel. She's said, the episode with my man Wayne Bradley was very hard to listen to. She said this episode was trash. Locker room talk. I believe something happened to her. I'm over it. Get this guy out of here. We know what Kool-Aid he's sipping. So shout out to Genevieve Noel and everyone else who has responded and been a part of the podcast for the last year. We thank you so very much. We would love to hear from you on our Facebook page at facebook.com/3blackguys with the mic, or you can get with us at our email at SIR at 3blackguyswiththemic.com. That's SIR at 3blackguyswiththemic.com. We do it every Tuesday. Hopefully you'll join us for a podcast and listen to all the rest of the podcasts. Share it with 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 other people that you know. Let them know what we're doing. We'll do it again next Tuesday with 3 Black Guys with the Mic. Peace.